Here's a fact that might sting some of you watching this right now. Rich people aren't rich because they're smarter than you. They're rich because they don't waste money on the same foolish things everyone else does. Harsh. Maybe. True. Absolutely. And if you've ever wondered why your bank account feels like a leaking bucket, it's probably because you're pouring cash into the exact 15 things the wealthy wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Once you understand these 15 money leaks, you'll start to see why the rich keep stacking while everyone else keeps sinking. So, let's dive right in. First up, flashy cars, especially new ones. Rich people love cars, don't get me wrong, but you'll rarely see them blowing money on a brand new ride straight off the lot. Why? Because the moment you drive a new car out of the dealership, it loses value faster than a cryptocurrency after a dumb Elon tweet. The wealthy know cars are status symbols, not investments. They buy quality, but they buy used or leased strategically. Meanwhile, average folks drop $60,000 on a new car to look rich, then cry when it's worth half that in 3 years. To me, that's absurd. If you think driving a brand new car makes you look rich, you're actually showing the world you don't understand money. But that's just the warm-up, because the next money trap is sneakier, and you've probably already wasted cash on it this month. Next, overpriced coffee habits. Yeah, that $8 latte you grab every morning. The rich aren't standing in line for that. Do they drink coffee? Sure. Heck, even I drink coffee, but they're not hooked on daily overpriced Starbucks caffeine. Why? Because they know it's death by 1,000 swipes. That $8 habit 5 times a week adds up to over $2,000 a year. Know what $2,000 invested annually for 20 years looks like. It's not coffee money, it's retirement money. The wealthy don't deprive themselves, but they don't chain themselves to rituals that drain cash without return. They buy a machine, make it at home, and still get their caffeine fix while their investments work in the background. But coffee's just the obvious one. The next thing the rich never waste money on is so common, it's practically built into most people's lives. And the rich? They've hacked their way around it. Massive houses they don't need. Here's the trap. Society tells you success equals a big house. Problem is, big houses come with big bills, higher taxes, endless repairs, furniture you don't even sit on. The rich aren't dumb. They don't sink their wealth into square footage they don't use. Sure, billionaires buy mansions, but everyday millionaires? They buy just enough house, not a castle. Why? A house isn't just a mortgage. It's maintenance, insurance, utilities, and time. The wealthy would rather live comfortably below their means and put extra money into income-producing assets. Meanwhile, the middle class flexes with 5 bedrooms and then complains about never having money to invest. By the way, if you're serious about building generational wealth, check out our financial freedom playlist to go from broke to financially untouchable. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a member to stay updated. Back to houses. It's not just about overpriced property. The rich avoid another kind of flex purchase that traps the middle class every time. It's one of the most painful money leaks I've ever seen. Expensive trendy clothes. Here's a dirty little secret. Most rich people's closets look boring. You won't find them buying $500 sneakers just because some celebrity dropped a collab. They know fashion trends are designed to make you broke. You're paying for hype, not quality. Real wealth buys timeless, durable pieces. The average person wastes thousands a year chasing the next trendy item, while the rich wear the same blazer for years. And nobody notices because confidence, not logos, makes the statement. Those $1,200 designer belts. The rich laugh because that's what amateurs buy to signal wealth. Now, I'm not saying live like a monk or start making furniture out of Amazon boxes. But the truth is, the rich play the money game differently. Where average people see fun or status, the wealthy see a trap. If you think clothes are where the rich flex, wait until you hear about the next thing they never waste money on. It's shinier and way more dangerous for your wallet. Shiny jewelry for status. Let's talk about the bling. Middle-class flex, buying the biggest gold chain or diamond ring they can finance. You see the music videos, but here's how we flip the script. The rich flex by quietly owning assets that appreciate. Jewelry is almost always a terrible investment. It loses value the second you swipe your card. That's why the rich know what drains cash, what kills momentum, and what makes you look wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. They don't drop cash on status pieces that scream, "I'm rich." They invest in assets that silently scream, "I'll be rich forever." Sure, they might have a Rolex, but it's often a piece that holds or even increases in value, not a mall-bought chain that'll pawn for pennies. If you're financing jewelry, you're not buying wealth, you're renting insecurity. But while jewelry is flashy, the next trap is invisible, and it's draining more money from average people than anything else on this list. High-interest debt. If you're a long-time subscriber, you already know this one crushes people. The rich never waste money paying 20% interest on credit cards. Why? They don't let it get that far. Interest is the tax on impatience. The middle class buys now, pays later, and ends up paying double. The wealthy understand leverage. They use debt as a tool, not a ball and chain. They'll take low-interest debt for an investment property, but you'll never catch them stuck paying $4,000 for a $1,500 couch because of credit card interest. Average folks think debt is normal. The rich think debt is optional unless it makes them richer. And speaking of optional, the next money drain is something the rich avoid, not because they can't afford it, but because they know it's one of the sneakiest traps in modern life. Lottery tickets and get-rich-quick schemes. I've said this more times than I can count, but here it is again. The lottery is a tax on people who don't understand math. The rich never waste money on it. Why? They know the odds are stacked worse than a Vegas casino on steroids. Same goes for get-rich-quick schemes. While average people throw money at scratch-offs, pyramid schemes, and shady online gurus, the rich play the long game. Slow, boring, compounding growth. That's why they win. They're patient. Average folks want to double their money overnight and end up broke overnight. The rich know real wealth builds quietly, not on a $2 ticket at the gas station. But while the lottery is an obvious waste, the next thing the rich don't spend on is something you probably think is smart spending. Spoiler, it's not. It's a money trap hiding in plain sight. Brand new tech just to flex. This is unfortunately one of the biggest problems most young people have. You know that guy camping outside the Apple store every September just to buy the newest iPhone? Yeah, he's usually not rich. The wealthy aren't rushing to buy every shiny gadget the second it drops. Why? Version 1.0 is basically a beta test you're paying thousands for. They wait. They upgrade when it makes sense, not when Apple tells them to. The average person burns $1,200 on the latest phone while still paying off last year's model. The rich? They keep the old one until it actually slows them down. They don't need to flex with tech because their bank account does the flexing for them. But while tech toys drain wallets fast, the next trap is worse because it pretends to be a shortcut to wealth, and the rich know it's a straight-up scam. Expensive financial advisors who don't perform. Let me share the mistake I used to make, then the solution. This is the one the middle class never sees coming. Paying big money to someone who's supposed to manage your money but just bleeds you with fees. The rich know the game. They don't waste money on advisors charging commissions or hidden fees for average results. They either learn the basics themselves or hire top-tier professionals with performance-based incentives. Meanwhile, average folks hand over 1 to 2% of their wealth every year thinking it's normal. That's not financial advice. That's robbery in slow motion. The wealthy never waste money on middlemen who don't deliver. If financial advisors are sneaky thieves, the next money drain is way more obvious, and it's something almost everyone has wasted money on at some point. Overpriced gym memberships they don't use. Be honest, how many people sign up for a gym in January, go for 3 weeks, then spend the next 11 months donating $60 a month to Planet Fitness? The rich don't play that game. They value health, sure, but they don't waste money on memberships they'll never use. They invest in a personal trainer, home equipment, or simply stay disciplined without throwing cash at a corporate contract. The middle class treats gym memberships like a status badge. Look at me, I'm committed to fitness. The wealthy? They know commitment comes from discipline, not a key card swipe. Discipline is free. And speaking of paying for things you don't use, the next thing on this list is so subtle, most people don't realize how much money they're burning on it every month. Subscription overload. Let's get serious for a minute. The silent killer. Subscriptions, streaming services, meal kits, apps, random monthly boxes you don't even remember signing up for. Average people spiral into $200 a month on subscriptions they barely touch. The wealthy? They're ruthless about cutting the fluff. They don't pay $15 a month for 5 streaming platforms when they only watch one show. They know those little charges add up fast, and they guard their cash flow like hawks. For the middle class, subscriptions are convenience. For the rich, they're landmines. 1 or 2 makes sense. 15 is not convenience. It's financial death by autopay. While subscriptions quietly eat your money, the next waste is loud, obvious, and usually parked right in front of you. It's why so many stay broke, even with a raise. Fancy cars for every family member. This one's so dumb, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about, but you need to hear it. The classic trap. Middle-class families love buying cars like Oprah giving them away. You get a car, you get a car. Problem is, cars are liabilities, not assets. The rich don't waste money filling their driveway with vehicles no one needs. 1 car per person is practical. 2, 3, 4? That's thousands in insurance, maintenance, and depreciation just collecting dust. The wealthy keep fewer high-quality cars that serve a purpose, not collect status points. Average folks think more cars equal more success. The rich think more cars, more bills. They'll pick cash flow over car shows any day. If cars are the flex everyone sees, the next money waste is one people love to brag about, even though it's quietly draining their wealth. Expensive vacations they can't afford. Let's cut the fluff and get to it. You know I'm going there. The Instagram flex, the all-inclusive vacation. Average people love dropping $5,000 they don't have on a week in Cancun just to post pics with fruity drinks. The rich love travel too, but they never waste money on luxury trips they can't afford. They travel strategically, use points, or wait until they actually have the cash. Why? Debt-financed vacations feel fun for 1 week, then regret for 52. The rich don't need to prove anything with travel. They don't come back broke just to say, I was there. They play the long game, building wealth to own their time and travel wherever, whenever, without sweating the bill. If vacations are the middle-class trap, the next one is the daily battlefield where fortunes are lost. 3 meals a day, every day. Constant takeout and dining out. Here's the deal. Eating out isn't bad, but average people treat takeout like a food group. $20 for lunch here, $40 for dinner there. Add it up, and you've got a mortgage payment in Uber Eats receipts. The rich don't waste money on constant takeout. They might dine out for connections, business, or special experiences, but not as a lazy daily habit. Why? $1,000 a month on food that could be cooked for $300 isn't just bad for your wallet. It's bad for your wealth-building momentum. The middle class eats to escape work stress. The rich cook, invest, and eat to fuel wealth. Big difference. And while food burns through your budget fast, the final money leak is worse because it's not about what you buy. It's about who you're trying to impress. Keeping up with the Joneses. This is the ultimate trap. The rich never waste money competing with neighbors, friends, or strangers online. They don't buy cars, houses, or clothes to impress people they don't even like. Why? Chasing appearances is the fastest way to stay broke. Average people spend to look rich. The wealthy spend to stay rich. Keeping up with the Joneses is like running a race where the finish line keeps moving. You'll never win. The rich checked out of that race years ago. That's why they're free. So, do you notice a pattern? It's simple. The wealthy aren't about deprivation. They're about precision. They don't say no to everything. They say no to the wrong things so they can say yes to the right ones. Investments, freedom, time, and options. Here's the kicker. You don't have to be rich to start thinking like the rich. Every dollar you don't waste is a dollar you can redirect into building the life you want. So, ask yourself, which of these 15 money traps are you guilty of? Be honest and drop it in the comments. The first step to wealth isn't making more, it's wasting less. If you got value from this, comment, I never waste money, and share this with someone who needs a wake-up call. In fact, there's a quiet strategy to build wealth on a small salary. We break it down step by step in the next video. Just click the video on the screen, and we'll see you there.